The main reason that they don't work, I think, is because there are actually three principal axes along which you should be describing political positions. So here's a question for you guys, okay? The top down means auth, right? Auth, left, lib, left, auth, right, lib, right. So it refers to state control, I assume, where up here you would have a dictator and down here you would have an anarchist, I imagine. Okay. And then left and right refer to how much your market is, free as opposed to controlled. So the ultra-libertarians would be over here, like capitalists, you know? And then over here you would have socialists. So if that's the case, where does political liberalization versus political radicalization happen? If the people up here are dictators, the people down here anarchists, the people over here socialists, and the people over here capitalists, where does hating black people fit on this scale? Does that make you more of a dictator? Well, no. I mean, memes aside, there are plenty of people in this circle right here seem to hate black people. Where does that fit exactly? Where does political or social liberalism fit in versus reactionary positions? It actually doesn't fit in this chart if you think about it. You can try to squeeze it in, but it doesn't work. This chart doesn't work. And if you actually think about it, this whole scale, this spectrum, doesn't really seem to work that much at all. I mean, there are a lot of libertarian right people who, if you actually press them just a little bit, are like auth-right. Ben Shapiro is an example. Ben Shapiro claims to be a libertarian conservative, but he wants to ban pornography, promote like religious rights and like religious religious hierarchy in society, and he's deeply in support of like authoritarian conservative control of the state. So is he a libertarian? Well, no. Well, I've met actual conservative libertarians, but they also tend to be in favor of a lot of the stuff that authoritarian conservatives engage in with regards to like welfare programs, which leads to a reduction of human equality in a way that is what exactly? I don't think that these labels work. And I think the more you think about them, the less they actually work. Another good example of this would be authoritarian leftists, like the people who tend to defend China. Now, this is a contentious position of mine, but I do sincerely believe this. I believe that many of the people who are super out to defend Russia or the USSR or China act indistinguishably from a lot of fascists, because they seem to enjoy more than anything else the military propaganda, the state power, you know, the aesthetic of the Soviet Union, strong-shouldered men with chiseled jaws staring forward as they gather grain from the collective or whatever. But these aesthetics are not egalitarian or socialist in nature. If anything, they're the opposite. The idea of sterling military authority figures represented by 6'2" white guys with square jaws collecting resources from what are essentially like modern peasantry, that doesn't really gel with my understanding of socialism. If anything, it seems like a promotion of class collaborationism, which is a fascist idea. That is to say, the party leaders who rule over society are actually super duper just one of you common workers, fellow USSR comrades. Thank you very much. We're actually just one and the same. Hey, don't worry about it. So are they fascists? Well, no, fascists hate the USSR. So what gives? I don't think that you can get any real descriptive value from these ideas, okay? I think there's actually just one real political compass, okay? It's super reductive, but it's also, in my opinion, the one that really matters, okay? And that political compass is a line, and it's hierarchy versus equality. I have found, in my talking with people and arguing my positions and believing the things that I believe, that the most consistent, the most explanatory, the most descriptive way of describing people's political positions is whether they hinder or help human equality, human freedom, you know, whether they liberate humans or restrict them. This falls in line with a very fundamental reactionary versus politically liberal tenet, the idea that human beings should rule over others or should not.